Good Friday, everyone. It's Maria. On behalf of the Recovery Center of Hamilton County. And I think we're about to get started here, and I see my favorite person in the whole world next to my mother, who might join us if she's awake. And my next favorite person, David, who shows up every time. I can count on him. So, hi, Linda. Hi, David. Glad to have you. I'm going to go over some... Hi, Ryan. Yay. Maybe you're taking a work break or trying to work and do two things at once. So, anyhow, glad to have you. I'm going to talk about some benefits. Hello to you. I'm going to talk about benefits of what I'm about to make. And it's risotto. So for those of you who have not had risotto, you're going to find out why you're going to want to make and eat risotto. Hopefully some of you have had it. I think David has, because we made it in class probably 2 years ago perhaps. But we made more of a vegetarian risotto with mushrooms, which are high in vitamin D. So this is a very versatile dish. I'm going to make a few little minor changes from the recipe I'm going to post. So you might take a pen and paper, and I will go through it as I prepare the recipe. And hello, Nancy. So I did a little extra research, and so I'm going to go over some of this. So you don't have to take a pen and paper out for this unless you're extremely interested, but I know I always am. That's just what I do. But anyhow, I'm going to tell you the few things I'm going to make today, and I'll post the recipe after the fact. That was something that Linda and I decided to do so you wouldn't just look at the recipe and not watch the video, okay? You can always come back to the video, and I will post it on my personal site and professional site. So, anyhow, I do want to tell you, you can make, the reason I think this is so versatile is you can make it with any kind of protein you want, or all vegetables, okay? So it can truly be a vegetarian dish or a meat dish or just a carbohydrate, okay? I highly recommend it to be a protein dish or a vegetarian dish with vegetables. So that's just me, but we are in Lent, so I wanted to do something that was seafood-ish, you know, and that way if you're a pesco vegetarian, it's got the pesco, i.e. fish, and if you're a true vegetarian, you can go with the vegetables. And if you want it as a side dish, you can do it that way too. Okay, so first off, I want to talk about the shrimp, which I'm making half the portion I'm going to post. The portion I'm going to post is probably for about 2 people, is what I would say. So I'm going to make it again tomorrow. So it's for 2 people. But anyhow, I did get some jumbo shrimp, and I thawed it. It's all pre-cooked, so it's just going to be heated up in this dish. It is deveined, so that's really nice. It is wild caught, and it does have the little stem on, which you can take off or not. So it's just real easy. I got it from the butcher, actually. So it's nice and fresh and all that. I just had to pour some cold water over it just to defreeze it. And you can also do that overnight in the refrigerator. So shrimp is really great brain food and heart food. It does have some cholesterol, but it's extremely low in fat. It promotes the heart and brain health. It has omega-3s. It also has an antioxidant in it. It's called Anastaxian. I can't say it right. It's spelled Anastaxanthin. So anyhow, that's the antioxidant, which can help promote against blood clots, decrease triglycerides, decrease cholesterol, decrease blood pressure. So, I'm sorry. I take that back. It's the onions I'm going to be putting in that decreases triglycerides, cholesterol, and has the antioxidant in it and protects against blood clots. The shrimp promotes the brain and heart health and has the omega-3s. I got into the onions, so I put a little cross there. So the onions have the that antioxidant. But the shrimp does have lots of vitamins and minerals and promotes brain and heart health, okay? So that's the shrimp. And then the onions, like I said, has the antioxidants in it, which I am going to add onions as well. Whoops, my hand's covering it up. So we'll get there. I just wanted to go over all the nutritional benefits first, and then I can get into the cooking, okay? And then the benefits of the risotto itself, which is called arborio rice, which if you haven't used it, I got the big container, okay? You can get all different size containers, and it can come all different prices too, because it's really an Italian style rice. So, you know, you can spend a little or you can spend a lot. I just spent a medium amount, okay? So it's up to you if you just want to try it out. And they do come in packages, individual packages all seasoned already. It's just those tend to have a lot of sodium in it. So that's why I go with just the plain arborio rice. But believe it or not, it does have vitamin A and C, protect the teeth, the bones. 1 cup can have as much as 45% of your daily essential vitamins and minerals. It's easy to digest. It helps beat constipation and diarrhea just because it's so easy to digest. And it transports nutrients to the digestive tract and to other areas of the body. It has 9 grams of protein per cup. It helps with muscle building. It regulates the digestive system. It stimulates enzymes and hormones, and it protects the tissues and keeps all the diseases at bay. So it really has a lot of benefits that I didn't even know about, even though I've made it before and had it and absolutely love it. So I just want to throw that out there. That risotto is not like a plain rice that you would buy, you know, just regular old rice, okay? It's special rice. So I just want to throw that out there. And then, let's see. As far as the asparagus, I'm just going to throw it out there because I went ahead, I chopped up the asparagus. I love asparagus. It's like my favorite vegetable. Sometimes it can be pricey, not always. But anyhow, oh, hey, Jenny, how you doing? That's all right. You can be late. So how much was that jug? Oh, gosh. I'm losing track. I want to say it was about $6, I think. But I mean, it can get expensive. You can get some really, really fancy arborio rice. I didn't go for like a $20 or $30 jug, but I think that was about right. And so on the asparagus, I'm just going to mention this real quick, and then we'll get started, okay? It's low calories, high nutrients, folate, which can help women who are of childbearing years, want to get pregnant, are pregnant. You definitely need folate. Vitamin C, vitamin K. So if you're watching your vitamin K, as long as you eat, you know, just a small amount or you eat it even amounts, you shouldn't have a problem. Potassium helps with weight loss, improved digestion as well, helps decrease blood pressure, and I think that's about it on that one. Of course, it has fiber, so that's another thing. Okay, so I think I went over all of those benefits of the primary ingredients, okay? So I am going to go ahead and, I'll show you. The recipe calls for chicken broth. You can use chicken broth. I chose, and I don't want to upset anybody, but that's why I say get out your paper and pen if you want to change it. It's up to you if you're vegetarian or not. Everybody's saying hi. I chose the vegetable broth just for those that want to go more vegetarian because of Lent. You can go with the chicken. You can go with the vegetable broth. So I went ahead, and as the recipe will tell you, I went ahead and boiled the vegetable broth, and then I brought it to a simmer. So it's on the side and it's warm, okay? So that's the first thing. And then I'm going to bring the camera over here and bring it closer to my skillet where my pot has the warm vegetable broth, okay? So let me do that real careful. And let me move that over for a second. So I think you can see. Yeah, okay. I'll put your words back in case you have a question. So it also calls for butter. That's up to you. If you want butter on occasion, that's fine. I prefer Smart Balance, okay? You really can use Smart Balance for spreading, cooking, and baking. I usually use the one with olive oil. This one I did not. So partly because I've been doing a lot of delivery. Like I had a $100 delivery yesterday morning, 7 o'clock. But anyway, so what I'm going to do, like I said, is do everything half. So it usually calls for 2.5 cups of broth. I used half of that amount because I'm going with 1 serving instead of 2. So you'll see the recipe. You can cut it in half, or you can use the full amount for 2 servings. And then you'll have another meal, or 2 actually. With what I bought, it ends up with like 3 meals, okay? So it just depends on what you can afford and if you want to do, 1 meal, 2 or 3. So anyhow, instead of a tablespoon of butter, I'm just going to use half that amount of Smart Balance. And I might even, for me, I might even just do a drizzle of olive oil. Now this is up to you, okay? And get those onions sauteed. So we'll turn this on. And the whole thing with a bourrée of rice is what you want to get your onions sauteed, and then you want to get your rice in there and coat our bourrée of rice, okay? Hi, Jew. I see you there. You don't have to say anything, but I see you. And I'm only going to use about, I think it's, what was it? It's up to you if you want a lot of onions or not, but let me look at my recipe. It was like a tablespoon of onions, so I'm just putting that in there. Just get those sort of sweated out. And then where's my olive oil? I'm just going to put just a touch because I just like that combination. So anyway, and then if Barb watches, I've been using her washcloths. I got the white one in use now. I really love it. If you watch later, Barb, I love it, love it, love it. It works perfect. So we'll just get this going. And then I'm going to add a little bit of rice. I measured this out, so I'm using half the amount. We'll coat this. But what it does is, which is different from other rice, is you coat it, and then we're just going to keep adding the broth in stages because it'll keep getting creamier and creamier. That's what's so awesome about a bourrée rice. Totally different from any other rice. It's not al dente at all. It's going to just get creamy, creamy, creamy. Okay? Which is so cool. You have to almost experience it. I don't know if anybody on here has. I think David and maybe Jenny has. I don't know. Ryan, maybe you have, or maybe Linda, I don't know. At some of the more expensive restaurants, they will serve it. So I'm just going to coat that. Let me look at my thing here and make sure I'm doing this the way I told you. Okay, so we just melt the little bit of margarine or butter, and then the olive oil if you want to add a touch. And that just takes a couple minutes. Add the rice and coat that. And then what we're going to do is add typically a half a cup. We'll just wait a few more minutes. In this case, I'm going to do just about a quarter of a cup. And it's starting to get, I'm going to lower my heat because we want to do this really slow. Okay? Did you say? Oh, okay. Everybody's talking to everybody else. So I'm just going to do this until the heat is a little high. So okay. Where's my thing? I'll put this up for a minute. It's not supposed to brown. I'm supposed to have white arborio rice. Oh, jeezers. Okay. Get off the heat for a minute. I'll probably just add a little nutty flavor. Might add a little more broth. Eventually we're going to get that shrimp in there. It's already been cooked, so that'll be the last thing. Okay? And of course, if you have chicken broth, it'll be a little different color. But we're just going to keep stirring, stirring, stirring. That's the whole thing, is that you just keep, I have never had risotto. Okay, well, you definitely got to make it, Linda. I can bring some over, and then you can make it, and you don't have to buy a big amount. So I still have some of your containers from last week. But we'll just keep stirring this. It's a little bit of a, it takes a little bit of time, not a lot of time. Usually you're going to make twice as much of this. I'm just making a little lunch because I'll make double the amount tomorrow. And you know, shrimp, sometimes you can get it at a really good price. I spent a little bit extra going to the butcher's. So I actually got, this is the second time I did it. I got all my groceries delivered by Amazon. And you know, it's nice. They can get it to you within an hour or two. And so just drop it off at your door. So, and I know David said for anybody that's on disability, it's like $6 a month. You can get all the Amazon Prime benefits. So, you might want to look into that if that's something, a situation you're in. So anyway, you can get the fresh Parmesan because that's something we're going to add to it to make it cheesy. Oh, and that's what I didn't mention either with the Parmesan because that's really good. Hard cheeses and aged cheeses are good for bone health and calcium and protein. So, I usually like the fresh. This is aged. And I got this at the butcher today. So we're going to eventually add this Parmesan cheese too. So that's going to give it a really good creamy flavor along with the fact that risotto is nice and creamy. So we're going to be adding more broth here in a minute. Because the whole thing is just to get the rice to like rub against each other. And that's what makes it creamy is the adding broth slowly. But it's still on simmer. So we're adding hot broth to the onions and to the risotto and a little bit of the Smart Balance and olive oil, which it does call for butter, but that's your choice. The Smart Balance, like I said, it's butter 7 grams of fat. The Smart Balance, as far as saturated fat, the Smart Balance is only 2.5. There's no animal saturated fat. It's just a plant-based fat. So I really like it. There's no cholesterol, where butter is 30 milligrams of cholesterol. So I just really like that, and especially if it has olive oil. In this case, mine doesn't, so I added a little olive oil. So I always like those Heart Smart benefits as far as the fat's concerned. I like unsaturated, mono, unsaturated. So we'll just keep going. And, you know, this is the only part. But, I mean, really, if I wasn't talking and I was just doing this and I had some music going or just wanted a little peaceful, meditative time in cooking, you know, this is the way to do it because, you know, you got everything ready. I had my onions chopped, my asparagus chopped. I have more fresh asparagus for tomorrow. I cleaned and drained that. You know, I washed, I got a whole nother thing of shrimp. And so, it's, you know, I got plenty of broth. So, it's all good, you know. I've got fresh ground pepper to finish it off. I'll add salt to taste. That's me. I'm not going to add extra salt until I know if I need it. That is part of the recipe, so it's up to you. For me, I'm used to I always got in trouble by my master chef for not adding enough salt. But personally, I want less salt, okay? So, I don't want high blood pressure. Oops, excuse me. So we'll just keep adding this and adding it. And, actually, you know what? I gotta add more of this. What am I doing? Okay, so I'll add the rest of the risotto. And then, we'll add the rest of the broth as we get this more creamy. And at some point, we'll add the asparagus here soon. The shrimp at the very end. And then the fresh ground pepper and the Parmesan. And if salt's needed, I'll decide when I taste it. Okay? So it's really an excellent dish if you're... It's not a summer dish per se. Please? I would take off the tail. Yeah, you know what? I would too. It's just the picture that we have has the tail, so it's really for presentation. Linda, I'll probably take it off tomorrow. But for the presentation, I think that's what it's more for, honestly. I'm going to add a little more broth, and then I'll probably add the asparagus, because I like my asparagus tender, And we shouldn't be losing any nutrients because, you know, and actually, you know what I might do? I might even microwave this for about a minute or two so it's tender. And then I just add just a touch of water. And that way I don't have to worry about it being stringy or chewy or whatever. But, you know, just rubbing together. That's the whole thing about a boil of rice. Just more broth and stirring and rubbing it together. The onions are getting tender. Now you can use shallots. And that's sort of almost like an onion garlic in a way. I know Chef Kinsella, he always called them shallots. So shallots, or, you know, whatever kind of onion you like, or shallots. I don't remember to buy shallots that often. I used them in school all the time, but it's up to you. They're very accessible. It's just remembering to buy them. But a little more broth. And that's the process. It really is. It's just having that nice warm broth available to keep adding and stirring. And then I'm going to add the asparagus and the shrimp at the end. I mean, it's really not that hard, and it's very versatile. Like I said, you know, if you add, I usually make it with mushrooms, okay? And they have vitamin D and low protein. It's a nice meat alternative, and you can add any kind of vegetable. If you don't like asparagus, add something else. You could add peas. You could add, which has protein, fiber. You can add, let's see, oh my gosh. You could add chicken, you know, instead of shrimp. Like I said, this is steamed a little bit. Adding a little more color. Does anybody have any thoughts or questions? I see some hearts, so somebody might, labor of love. Yes, definitely. It really is. It really is. And it's so good. Oh my gosh. And you pay a lot of money for this at a restaurant. You really do. And so it's really worth whatever, you know, you put into it. It really is. Because I'd rather spend a little bit of money and put this time in just to prep and stir and add broth than, you know, as much as I love to go out to a nice restaurant. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, we might be... I heard that some of y'all are getting the vaccine soon. I have to look on Facebook to find out, but that's all right. I'm very excited. It really made my morning when I saw that. So I know that I should be able to get one any time now. I should have got one about 2 months ago, but yeah, you can add garlic. Sure, I was going to say that. Yeah, definitely. You can definitely add garlic. It's going to add even an extra benefit. It's not in this recipe, but you could surely add garlic along with your onions or instead of your onions, or... You know, I add garlic and onions to almost everything, as long as the other person, if I'm, you know, I'm eating with, has garlic, so we don't both, you know, like, actually ruin each other's night, sit next to each other, or sit on the other side of the room or something. But yeah, so this is gonna really come together here soon. We're gonna give it a little more time because you really got to get that broth almost completely absorbed by the risotto, okay? Yeah, definitely add garlic. But I mean, honestly, the risotto has to almost absorb all the broth, okay? And then it's going to be almost like rice does. It's a totally different process, but because rice just absorbs the broth, it's going to just keep rubbing together until it gets creamy, okay? Let me look at my temp here. So really, let me see at what point here, I mean, I didn't put when I put the Parmesan in. I do so many things without recipes, I'll tell you. It's hard for me to follow a recipe. It's terrible. Oh, I know. Oh, thanks to Jill. Thank you, Jill. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad. I've been waiting forever for Linda and Mom to get vaccines. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. It's starting to work. It's starting to come together. I'm going to take a spoon and just see if it's still al dente or starting to get more creamy. It's going to take a little bit more time, and then I can add the shrimp and just get that hot. And the parm. I could probably add the parm now, actually, but let me just take a little taste. No, not ready. Not ready. I broth just in case. Yeah, because I don't want the shrimp to get tough. I gotta make sure the risotto is creamy enough. Gotta wait until that risotto is ready. There's no way I can. The shrimp will only take like 2 minutes. But if the risotto is not ready, then we're not ready. That's all there is to it. Now, I can start to add the pepper. That's not a problem. I'm going to wait on the parm. I like the fresh ground pepper, personally. It's weird. I got to get some plain old pepper, though. My boyfriend just likes it plain. I like it fresh ground. It might need a little salt. Vegetable broth is low sodium, so it might need a little bit. Remember, you should really put like 1/4 teaspoon of salt in a separate shaker every day if you really add salt to your food, and then stop after that. Oh, you do? You know what it goes? John, hi, Mr. Glover. It goes out to my sunroom. And I have a deck on the side and then big backyard, so it's funny you like that little window. I decided to keep it that way rather than knocking out the whole wall, because that whole wall is brick, and so it makes for a nice wall for the sunroom. So I'm about to get ready, get the deck and sunroom together. Give it a little more time though, because you never know when we get that March or April snow. Heaven forbid I say that word. So anyway, hopefully you can see this. And glad to have you. I didn't know you were there, but I'm glad you came on board. I know I haven't looked who all is there, but I see you. So I'm going to get a little more time. Let me get some Parmesan. I think you can always add a little more. You don't want to get too crazy. So it calls for 1/3 cup. I'm going to do a little less than that. But I'll just put that in there. And like I said, the aged cheese, the harder cheeses are going to be better for your gut health. And, you know, it's going to give it a lot of flavor. So it's starting to come together. Boy, I'll tell you, you probably, now that I think about it, I made it for 1 serving. This is going to be 2 servings for me. So I would say that recipe probably is a 4-serving recipe, actually. You know, you don't want to overdo it. But if you weren't on, John, earlier, you might want to listen to all the benefits of risotto, asparagus, and shrimp, and onions. I got a little screwed up there for a minute, but basically there's just a lot of benefits to all these ingredients. And you can use, like I said, mushrooms instead, or chicken instead, or just lots of different vegetables. But it's really just taking the time to space the broth out and get that risotto creamy. And I think it's getting there, you know? It is. Like Linda said, it's a labor of love, though. It really is. And that's everything she makes is a labor of love. Not me all the time. Sometimes I just want to get it made and eat it. And talk about it. I'm more of the talker. She's more the cooker. And I think she's got something real special for next week, just so give everybody a heads up. I'm going to take another little taste. Let me wash this off. Okay. And then we'll see. Still a little crunchy. I'm going to add a little more broth. Now, it's probably better if it's heated, but it'll get hot. I'm going to add a little more. I like the vegetable. I think it's good. So you can do whatever you want. You have a lot because you added a ton of asparagus. Well, you know, that's part of it. But you want to add double veggie. I think you should add double veggie to everything, because most Americans, like almost probably 70 to 80% of Americans, don't get enough vegetables. So this is the way to get your veggies in too. Okay? That's the whole point. More veggies. It's better for weight management. It's better for antioxidants. If we ate more veggies in this world, we would actually have less methane, less global warming. healthier people, etc., etc. So more veggies, the better for all of us. It's got more water in it, fiber in it, everything you need for better health. Half a cup before recipe. Well, guess what? Double it. Double the veggies. I promise you. It will make you healthier than ever. Maybe we need to readjust that, Linda. One more time, I'm going to try it. And then we'll add the shrimp. Cook it as long as it takes till it's as smooth as silk. I'm serious. That's the way you want your risotto, okay? I'm not lying. It might take some time, but it'll be worth every minute. Okay, still a little chewy. So, I think we've been cooking this for about 15-20 minutes. It may even take 30, but it's worth it, okay? It's really worth it. You will make some people happy, including yourself. So, whatever it takes, okay? I'm going to put the shrimp in, because it's still going to take a couple more minutes. And I only did 6. I have probably double this amount. But, like I said, there's protein in the risotto. There's protein in the shrimp. There's a little protein in the vegetable, but it's obviously not complete protein. Okay? But the combination of all 3 major ingredients are going to give you complete protein. Okay? That's the one thing. You almost need a bean and a grain, or a complete protein like meat, eggs, or shrimp to get a complete protein where all your amino acids are together. I love to cook. Sounds very good. Good. You'll like this, John. I hope you don't mind if I call you John. Yeah, because this is just, I mean, it's a beautiful dish. And no matter what you put in it, it's going to be beautiful. You could add red peppers if you want, or green, or yellow, or orange, or whatever. I don't like green, really. But we're going to cook it a little bit longer, and then I'll plate it. I probably will go with a little bit of salt. I'm not going to put a lot in, because I don't want a lot. Since the broth is low sodium, it's not going to kill me. Yeah, this is going to be a good 2 meals. But honestly, if you have extra vegetables, go ahead and put the extra vegetables. Seriously, it'll expand the dish. And back in the day, we always added extra potatoes or anything to stretch a meal for health, or not for health, for saving money and to feed a big family. But the goal now is add extra vegetables. Seriously, not extra potato flakes or breadcrumbs. We don't want to stretch it that way. We'd rather stretch it, using oats or veggies. That's what's going to make us healthy, not extra breadcrumbs. Okay, so just take a look at that, and I'm going to taste it one more time. It's a lot of tasting, but I only take a little teeny when I do taste, because those calories can add up if you're tasting all day, You're wondering why I got all this silverware over here. I'm trying to separate my silverware, because I got 3 sets. I'm trying to make it all look nice and clean and separate it out, so that's why I keep going over there. Okay, it's starting to, I'm going to turn that down a little bit. Okay, so salt and pepper helped. And it's getting smoother. It's just about ready. I'd say a couple more minutes. I don't want to bore you guys to death, but is it looking great? Okay, so I'm just going to dish up a plate and show you. But at least hopefully you got some of the nutrition facts and the concept of how to make risotto and all the different alternative ways you can make it, okay? And yeah, you can surely take off the tail, but and use any kind of vegetable, extra vegetables, whatever. But honestly, this is just more for looks. I mean, they serve lobster in the tail, they serve crab, all kinds of things, and people like to sort of play with their food sometime. Maybe not this dish, because it's a casserole, in a sense. I'm going to clean our plate. It doesn't look all sloppy. So one thing the sous chef has to do, make sure the plate's clean. And I'll just put this down here. A little pepper. A little parm. Okay. So, does that look okay, you guys? So that's risotto. Okay? So for anybody who's still able to be here or come back or watch it later, I would highly recommend it. Okay? You know what? The tail could add flavor, actually. Thanks, Linda. Yeah, you'll have to make it. The tail could have flavor. You can actually make, you live for vegetables, good. You're probably very healthy. Honestly, the tail, you can take the tails and make your broth that way, okay? So if anybody wants to save money, you can use any kind of tails or bones as far as fish goes and make a nice broth, okay? So that's something that, you know, of course I did in school with, as far as chicken and, let's see, beef and pork bones, it takes about 12 hours. Vegetable, it takes about 2 hours. Fish and shrimp and those kind of crustaceans, it only takes several hours in cold water, and then cook it off and then strain it and you can get a broth, okay? So definitely do that. But anyhow, there you go. That's my lunch. And then obviously I have more, so I'll save it. And I have a lot more to make too. I'll be making it again tomorrow. So anyhow, yeah, the tail might have flavor, but not to eat the tail. No, it's just to cook it for a broth, okay? So anyhow, I hope that gave you guys some tips. And I'll post a recipe. Like I said, it's a little bit different, but if you took some notes mentally or wrote them down, I just did a few things a teeny bit different. You know, maybe add a little more vegetables or added olive oil and smart balance. But otherwise, there you go. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend and get your vaccine as soon as you can. And then we'll all be able to go out and have fun. If you haven't had fun already, I know I'm ready to have more fun because I haven't had that much fun. Okay, thanks, Jenny. You're a sweetie. Okay, I got your prunes, Jenny. So I'll get them to you, okay? All right. Have a great day, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the little shrimp risotto asparagus. And signing off from the Recovery Center of Hamilton County. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.